going, everybody? It's Dustin here, and on today's video I found something that is incredibly hard to find in Northeast Oklahoma. Like, I didn't even know this existed here, and that is straight firewood. Can you believe it? Like, I never get to cut straight firewood, but I was at the auction we got all the junk at, and a buddy of mine with the dozer service said, hey, I've got a big old stack of logs that we've pushed over, cut the bottoms and tops out of, and I don't want to see just get burnt. You want to come cut? I said, shoot, yeah. So we're here. I got the Echo 620p, the one from Joe at Okie Woodsman, that's ported by Super Dave Outdoors, and I got the auction 066. So have not ran it other than when I pulled it out that day to see if it ran. So we're gonna get it into some wood. I'm gonna cut this stuff. He's got a machine here to load. So I'm gonna cut this stuff about 14 foot, put it on the dump bed, and deal with it at home. old truck's been putting in the work today. Back for some more. We're going to take a break from hauling firewood poles to, I got a call for a delivery of 2-rick 2-face cords. So we're going to load it up real quick, and it's like 5 miles from where I'm getting the poles from. So I'm going to go dump a load of cut and split firewood. Then we're going to get another load of poles. Well, we conquered that deal. 5 loads of the most exquisite free firewood I've ever laid my hands on. So it's like, I'd say 90% is some, whatever this variation of oak is. If you know, let me know, because I don't know. And there's a little bit of hackberry. That's hackberry. There's 4 of them right here. There's a couple more, not very many though. Almost all of it is whatever kind of oak this is. So we got 5 loads, and it's all pretty small wood, which the stuff I dealt with last year. This is like a godsend, because I was so sick of dealing with that crap that you had to noodle up, and I mean some of it was 4 or 5 foot across. So excellent. And the old dump truck has been putting in some serious work, and I hauled all this with a blown out back tire. I did all this on the weekend. This is Monday morning. And tire shop is supposed to have me 3 new tires today, but I wanted to get all this wood hauled, and we did. Like I said, it wasn't real far, about 10 miles, maybe 12, but it was all back roads, so took it nice and easy. So now I'm gonna get the tractor and get some stuff set up, and I'm gonna get all this stuff stacked up real nice and neat, so I don't have the mess I did last year. Back to the dump truck. Dump truck is 50 years old. And this thing, it's been putting in some work. I mean, I don't know if you've all been watching the videos, but the other day we crossed the scales at 22,000 pounds. 8,000 of that which was on the bed of the truck. She was loaded. And just keeps taking it. I've had this truck for probably 5 years now, and you can work it like a dog, and it just keeps puttering along. You're not going to break no speed records, but you know what? I don't care. If I can run 55, ain't no problem to me. So anyway, we'll grab the tractor and we'll get to stacking these logs. Okay, it's been a few weeks since the first part of the video, probably 3, maybe. So the weather has definitely changed since the first part of the video. It's cold. So we got the wood dealt with. Got it all stacked up. Let's go take a peek at it. Got a good jag of wood. I've never had this much wood on hand at one time. Like good wood ready to cut and go. So for free wood, I don't think you could possibly get better. This is the guy said the dozer, my buddy with the dozer service said this was some kind of oak. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. This is a piece of elm that I had last year that I was going to do something with, but it's getting cut up for firewood. This is hackberry. There's a little bit of hackberry in here, not much. A few pieces here. The rest of it is whatever kind of oak this is. So, cut all this up with that 066 from the auction. The one that's on eBay right now. It'll probably be sold by the time this video comes out. I think it's got like a day left. So it ran flawlessly cutting this. Super, like 3rd pull, 4th pull to start when it's cold every time. And when it's hot, 1st pull. Saw ran amazing. Cosmetically, it had some issues, but ran perfect. So it really opened my eyes because I couldn't really film much while I was there cutting because there was another guy there cutting, and then it's just I don't know, I didn't mess with it. And he was using an MS 170 or 180, and he was absolutely working himself to death. Joe, my buddy Joe at the Okie Woodsman, he had made a video the other day on 50cc chainsaws. Great video, by the way. And he had went to a guy's place who said he used a 50cc saw, and you know, he didn't want nothing wood bigger than that. And he was using a 261, which is an excellent saw, and I'm not comparing apples to apples whatsoever. But this guy had a little saw on wood that's not very big. This isn't big wood by no stretch of the imagination. And he was absolutely working himself to death. And I had a 90cc saw with a 25-inch bar, and I didn't even have to bend over. I mean, I was mowing. By the time I got all this wood cut and brought here, he may have gotten 2 rick of wood cut, maybe. He was bucking it up there. He didn't have a way to deal with it in long poles, so he may have had a cord cut, maybe. And he was, I mean, the whole time he's telling me his back was hurting. I mean, he was bent over the entire time, and I don't know, there's something to be said about a big saw with a long bar and not having to bend over. Everyone's situation is different. How they cut wood is different. How their setup is different. So what works for one person fantastically doesn't mean it's going to work for the next person fantastically. So, but yeah, that I had really considered keeping that saw just because it did so good here. But that 620, the 620 I've got with 28-inch bar, it will do just as fantastically as that 066 on this kind of wood. So that's what I'm going to use. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, free firewood. Every once in a while, it'll pan out. And I think it panned out pretty good today. So we'll catch you on the next one.